So thanks so much to Ian and JFK, especially Remy and Robin for bringing me into this event. My name is Jaimal Yogis. I'm the author of this book, Saltwater Buddha, The Surfer's Quest to Find Zen on the Sea. And I'm just going to read a couple short chapters. But I wanted to start just by saying what an amazing event. And looking around, it made me think what a unique time we live in. When East and West are so inseparable, not just in business anymore, but politics and world religions and spirituality. And obviously, globalization has some downsides, but I think there's incredible opportunities. That we can begin to see ourselves as human beings first, and cultural constructs second. Not to belittle our cultural heritage, but just to see ourselves for the fact of what we are, and maybe to come to a piece of art, an Akira Kurosawa film or an ancient text, and see it with fresh eyes, and without preconceptions. And I just mention this because in part of what the book is about is when I'm in high school and I'm just getting into the East, and specifically Buddhism in a deep way, and I think I had so many preconceptions from watching too many kung fu movies or something. I put the East so high on a pedestal that I really couldn't reach it. And when I went deeper into it, I kind of gradually realized that Zen, my favorite, the Buddhist tradition, is telling me the exact opposite, that it was about accepting myself where I am now with all my scattered Western ways, and in that acceptance, there's kind of this slice of the highest wisdom in that turning of the mind to accept what is. And so that's really what this book is about. It's about surfing and Zen, but it's really about self-acceptance. And for me, Zen was sort of the medium where that happened, and surfing was like the translator to the earthly plane or something. So. With that in mind, I'm just going to start in the middle of a chapter with the time constraints where I'm about 17 and I've just gone on an exchange student program to France, and it's like my formal introduction to Zen. An old Vietnamese master named Thich Nhat Hanh lived at the village. I'm sure you've heard of him. Besides the Dalai Lama, Thich Nhat Hanh is the most well-known Buddhist teacher in the West. He's perhaps most famous for his efforts to ground Buddhism's high-minded compassion in everyday situations and societal concerns. Thai, as his students called him, was a monk in Vietnam during the American-Vietnam War. Watching his beloved country go up in napalm flames, he and his fellow monks decided to break with their natural ritual hours of still meditation to help the war victims all around them. They rebuilt destroyed villages and nursed the injured and dying. For the crime of publicly opposing the war, Thai was exiled from his native land and went to France. I've read just about all Thai's books, and when I finally saw him speak, I was expecting to see a halo around his head or lightning from his fingertips or something somehow suitably grand. Mainly, though, he was just much smaller than I'd expected. 73 years old, frail, bald, and I think not much more than 100 pounds. His skin seemed to have a softness about it, and so did his eyes. He looked almost like a child, but there was something about him, something very soft and placid. Thai spoke on compassion the day I came. I don't remember the talk, but I do remember vividly the question he took after. The questioner, who identified himself as an American Vietnam War vet and looked about my father's age, said that he had accidentally killed Vietnamese children during the war and could not forgive himself. He could barely sleep. He wanted to make peace with the Vietnamese and with himself, but how, he asked. Thai sat cross-legged in a dark brown robe, color of Bordeaux dirt, rich and almost black. He smiled, pondered briefly, then said slowly, as is his custom, "You can't change the past. There are Vietnamese children alive today who are sick, who are dying. I think you can help save those children who are still alive. Do this and you honor the lives of all the children who have been killed." The man bowed his head deeply. I think he cried. Then Thai said one other thing that still comes back to me often. Speaking of the different types of compassion, he said, "We can help others like the right hand helps the left hand." He chuckled at his little metaphor. The right hand doesn't think, "I should help that left hand. It's the right thing to do." It simply acts. because it knows the two hands depend on each other. Hearing Ty say this, it was as if everything I'd been reading finally made sense. He summarized it all in a few simple words, but it wasn't even how he said it. It wasn't even what he said, it was how he said it, how he moved. What his being exuded. I'd never seen such peace and kindness on a human's face. I decided that day I would be a Buddhist monk too. Nothing else mattered but finding for myself the peace that Ty so clearly possessed. My mom was in the audience. Thanks for coming, Mom. That day I called my mom from Plum Village's payphone. At this point, she got used to my spontaneous antics and wasn't particularly shocked when I reported a sudden change of plans. Hi, Mom. Guess what? What? I'm going to be a monk. Okay, what made you want to do that? Well, a lot of things, but I'm in Plum Village, I took my mom's monastery, and I decided I don't think I need to finish high school. I mean, Jamal, you have 2 months left. I know, but it's amazing here. Jamal, okay, but afterward. We'll talk about this when you get home. I did follow through on my monastery plan, just not at Plum Village. After graduation, I went on a little Buddhist monastery tour of California. There were quite a few. And eventually moved into an Orthodox Chinese Buddhist monastery in Berkeley, rooming with another American teen named Aaron. Aaron and I were both teenagers enamored with the idea of being Buddhist monks, not perhaps the rigors of the lifestyle. We wanted to save the world with sublime wisdom, bald heads, and incense offerings. It didn't matter that neither of us had ever been able to stick with anything for longer than a year. This was different. This was our destiny. We were certain. We were actually really good for 10 months for a while. For almost a year, we woke every morning at 3:30 for meditation and chanting. We ate 1 meal a day, recited sutras, sat weeks-long meditation retreats where the schedule required 14 hours of sitting per day. We did Tai Chi and Kung Fu, tried to learn Mandarin. We never drank alcohol and rarely spoke to women. We knelt every day and took the impossible vows of the Bodhisattva. Living beings are numberless. I vow to save them all. Confusions are inexhaustible. I vow to cut them all off. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unattainable. I vow to attain it. At night after the evening ceremony, we fantasized about wandering the misty mountains of China with our shaved heads and bathing bowls. I think we could just live on offerings out there. Yeah, climb the 5 sacred mountains, beautiful in spring. Visit Master Haida in the Shaolin Temple, learn one-figure handstands, live in caves, write poems with wandering Taoists, play with orphans, eat mooncakes. I'm sure the American abbot of the monastery smiled indulgently at our fantasies from time to time, but having been a monk for 30 years, he also knew what it takes to stick with it for real, and he knew us. He eventually offered us some advice. You guys might want to try college first. A lot can change. Just as we were fully convinced of our utmost monastic purity, just as our moms were beginning to give up on our grandchildren altogether, Aaron and I went back to the real world, back to the world of paying rent, well, I guess the first time paying rent. Back to worrying about designing clothing and girls and which music was hip and which new comedian was funniest and which politician the biggest fraud. Back to the incessant pounding waves of modern life. It was awful. I understood I wasn't ready for monkhood, but outside the safe monastery walls, I felt like float salmon drift on a stormy sea. I thought about classic community college, but they just seemed trivial compared with misty mountain searches for enlightenment. I tried to be normal, but normal was difficult. I got a girlfriend, she broke my heart. I went to parties that made me tired. I tried to do volunteer work, I got sick. And that's when it started happening again. Water dreams. They came almost every night, but this time without stories. Just crashing waves, floods, tsunamis. And sometimes the water was gentle and warm and peaceful, and I woke up feeling better. I was gradually reminded of a vision I'd had of another type of life. It wasn't being a monk, but it wasn't constrained by the shackles of the modern rat race. It was the life of the surfer. So just months after leaving the monastery, I found myself high above the Pacific, watching those same waterfalls and hula girls on the in-flight television, preparing for yet another trip to Hawaii. So I'm going to skip ahead to when I'm learning to surf for the second time in Hawaii. This is just another short chapter called Poiki. Poiki is one of the most consistent surf spots on the Big Island. It's a series of southeast-facing coves and reefs, all angled slightly differently so they can filter both direct south and rapid northern swell into waves. It's been about 2 years since I surfed, and the little bit I picked up was completely gone. This time, a little older and wiser, I was after all 19. I decided to observe for a day before paddling out. There was a fierce hurricane swell filling the bays when I arrived to watch. There must have been 100 surfers in the water, eyes all locked on the horizon like members of some odd religious cult awaiting a messiah from the southeast. I sat on the grass and watched for surfers whose style I planned on emulating. Where do they sit? What kind of boards do they ride? How do they shift their weight on turns? There were so many skilled surfers, burly Hawaiian men with arms bigger than my thighs, tan teenage girls with tattoos on their ankles, screaming kids on bodyboards, old men with beer guts, blonde Californian transplants. I sat on the grass and watched for surfers whose style I watched for hours and eventually became entranced with a young Hawaiian surfer on a bright yellow fish, a short stubby board with a split tail. The boy couldn't have been older than 14, but he could surf as well or better than anyone else. He was skinny with big black eyes, dark skin, and straight black hair. He wasn't the most acrobatic surfer, but he had a certain ease, carefree grace, like a tango dancer in a body that seemed almost Gumby-like. It wasn't just his surfing that caught my attention. He was always in the right place at the right time. Before a swell could even be seen on the horizon, the boy would casually paddle to the place the next wave would hit. Either he was lucky or every cell in his body was tuned to receive. I later learned the boy's name was Kakoa, which means the brave one. His skills could be explained by the fact that he'd practically grown up in Poiki's water. His family owned the only house that sat right in the bay. It was a little red shack that reminded me of a miniature barn, standing comfortably in the shade of several palms. Kakoa often woke at sunrise and surfed before school, and he came home and surfed until sunset, riding a wave in under the last rays of light, just in time for dinner. I got up the courage to paddle out of Poiki the next day, and I kept watching Kakoa. I noticed that a lot of surfers had a hungry glare as they were waiting for waves, as if they needed to get their quota, assert their status in the pack. But Kakoa was always laughing and splashing, teasing his friends with goofy taunts. Hey brah, this wave I like you, better take next one. Then he'd take off on that wave, grinning as he dropped. Generally speaking, there's a deep animosity at surf breaks between locals and newcomers. In Hawaii, the animosity is often especially strong between Native Hawaiian locals and the Howleys, the white folks. I was the lowest of the low, white boy who couldn't surf. For the first couple of weeks of Poiki, I felt like I did little but get in the way of the better surfers, so I tried to stay clear of the pack and followed that wise Hawaiian proverb: observe with the eyes, listen with the ears, shut the mouth. But Kakoa, breaking the code of flowering the newcomers, was immediately friendly, always offering a smile and nod, sometimes even a conversation. So, brah, where are you from? Kakoa asked me after I'd been surfing for Poiki for a week. He must have seen me belly flop on about 50 waves. California, I said, embarrassed to be from a place where it is assumed everyone surfed. So what, how much surf where you live? Now, my folks live a little ways from the coast. Unfortunately, snowboarding that I snowboard a lot and ski. Trying to transfer the skills, obviously it's not going so well. Kakoa's face lit up. No way, bro. Snow, oh, I've never seen this frozen wave. Must be so mean riding that. I watch these guys on TV, oh. A couple times Kakoa backed off waves and ushered me forward. Cuz, this one for you, no face plant, try focus. Then I face plant. When I first arrived on the Big Island, a Hawaiian storyteller told me Pele, the lava goddess, tests visitors to see if they're worthy of her island. Overeager tourists are always getting horribly injured on the lava, and if they have to fly home with a broken arm or a slashed knee, Hawaiians often say Pele sent them back. I thought it was just a legend. One day after I'd started feeling a little comfortable at Poiki, I was paddling out over the shallow reef when a crystal clear wave came toward me. It wasn't big or scary, and as it rolled over the shallow reef, the pinks, whites, and yellows of the coral refracted through it, a moving prism. The wave was so beautiful, I think I briefly forgot what I was doing. I ducked over too late and in the wrong spot, so the nose of my board met the reef. The board stopped, and my body kept going. My face was hovering, unprotected, directly above the coral, just as that lip of the moving prism broke right on the back of my head. My face went to reef like a clove of garlic eating a garlic press. Blood clouded the water. Two subsequent waves washed me further under the reef, slicing knees, elbows, toes with deep razor-thin gashes. I had an image of being spun in a washing machine filled with broken glass. Gripping my board tightly was, after all, the only valuable possession I had. I was finally able to roll off the reef into deeper water and paddle in. My lips were swelling, and there was blood dripping from dozens of little scratches. The cuts actually weren't that serious, but I felt stupid. I hadn't even been riding a wave. This was not a good way to get in with the locals. Pele didn't want me. Coming to Hawaii was a dumb idea. Then I heard the voice of a young kid. Hey, California, it was Kakoa. Reef don't feel like snow, eh, bro? I couldn't help laughing. Smiling made a cut on my lip open more. I flinched. Kakoa was holding what looked like a pine cone dipped in gelatin. He tossed it to me and I caught it. Felt like I imagined a recently looking rainwater that smelled like rotting eggs and mucus. What is it? Pony, bruh. Local medicine. Try put it on your face. Smash it up. Rub it like lotion. Thanks, I said, genuinely grateful but a bit apprehensive about rubbing the foul fruit on my skin. Are you sure, man? Put this on your... When I looked up, Kakoa was already diving onto his board and paddling back out. Splashed his friend as he paddled by. He was probably making fun of him for helping a clumsy Howie. I couldn't help remembering Thich Nhat Hanh's lecture. The right hand doesn't think, I should help the left hand. It just acts, because it knows both hands depend on each other. The book actually isn't out until May. This is like a special exclusive sneak preview. And but if you're interested in updates and more readings that are taking place or getting a book, I have a blog at JaimalYogis.com. And also, in the spirit of this event, one of my favorite traditions is fortune cookies. I decided to make a bunch of fortunes. Everyone is different, and they're over there, and they just don't come with cookies. So they also have my info on them. And if there's anyone who blogs or does video or is a journalist and wants to review a copy of the book, I do have some galleys here, just a few. But you can also contact me through my website, and we can go that way. So thanks again to JFK and DM.